There's a lot of aggro in this format. Alright, I just talked about how I was going to stay off the ladder, but I think this deck's really good. I think it checks a lot of the boxes you want to check in this format. It's got an incredible amount of interaction. It's got good, strong, proactive draws. It's got resilient threats that are also evasive. It's got a solid sideboard plan with reasonable cards. So I'm going to go ahead and ladder with this one. And hopefully we don't live to regret our choices. Where are we starting here? We're starting at 1091. Let's dive on in. I think green-red aggro is the best deck in the format. Do you prefer base green or base red for Gruul? I prefer base red. I really like getting to play Goblin Chainwhirler. First strike creatures are really good in this format. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Duckstar. I just think this deck has a lot of play to it and a lot of matchups. Its hardest matchups are Gates and Sultai mid-range, and Sultai is not unwinnable, so I think it's an okay place to be. Alright, I think we're about to have to prove if Sultai is unwinnable or not. Hopefully they're another green-red deck. Stream Decker, yep, got you. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, Wild Growth Walker is basically like lights out for this archetype. Alex, thanks for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm pretty happy to take that trade there. And this Lightning Strike to clean out the Pelt Collector here. Then I've got this Giant Hellkite for afterwards. If they don't have anything here, this Hellkite might be able to take things over for us. Unfortunately, I am in a position where if they attack with the Spellbreaker, I'm pretty obligated to block. Is it possible to change your account name on Arena? I don't know offhand. Probably dead here to that draw. We're actually just dead to Collision Colossus. Yeah, I can double chump block this turn, but I just don't have draws to get back in the game from here. Definitely a matchup where we want all of our Lava Coils. Just got some big scary monsters. Want as much of my removal as possible early. This is probably a Harpooner out matchup. I think we're more of the control deck in this matchup. Oh, audio bug, audio bug. Do 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 boo boo boo. These people are great by their stuff. These people also great by their stuff. Back to your regularly scheduled Magic Arena. Yep. Seems like decent with some lands. Sometimes, Topto, like, it's hard in these matches where we both tend to be, where we both have the potential to be aggressive. Exactly what role you're assuming in a given game is often going to change depending on what your draws are and what their draws are. So just assuming you're one specific role in a matchup like this, I think is often incorrect. It's got more nuance to it than that. think I want to get more threats into play rather than just making this one threat I have bigger. This does give him a chance to lightning strike like that, though. I don't know, Weary Dude. I don't really like to make up random numbers for stats like that, so if I don't have like a good metric to give you, I'd rather just say I don't know. That's a great statement that I didn't think about before. I guess I play too much Modern. That's definitely something that's different in Standard than Modern. Your roles tend to be more cemented in Modern in my experience, just because the decks tend to not have a lot of interaction in them. I think I want to hold on to this Lava Coil for now, in case they have a 5-4. That being said, the downside to waiting on the Lava Coil is that they could have a Ghalta in hand, which would be really bad for us. It's a shame we didn't have Goblin Chainwhirler here. We would have just destroyed them. This gives me lethal draws for next turn, potentially. I'm going to go ahead and kill this Pelt Collector now, I think. I feel a little bit bad burning the Lava Coil if they have a Rekindling Phoenix next turn, but outside of Rekindling Phoenix, I think I'm pretty happy to do that. Lava Coil also makes it less than great for us. So this forces them to double block, which again makes their Ghaltas worse. Ghalta's kind of a mirror breaker, so I want to prioritize making that card bad for them. So they're down to 1 here. Putting them to 1 is also appealing because it makes all 4 of our Goblin Chainwhirlers lethal draws, even if they answer this dragon with a Collision or a Lava Coil. That's a good draw. We knew they drew it, because otherwise they would have played it last turn. I'm just going to go ahead and play my lands out here, so that way, especially a tap land, in case I draw like a, what's it called? An adapt creature. Maybe I'm supposed to hold on to this, because the Haste Trample could surprise a win if they attack with this. Nope, never mind. One of my dozen lethal draws, please. One of my dozen lethal draws, please. Well, we got 4. We played around Ghalta so well this game. Just took every trade we could. We had like 15 lethal draws last turn, right? Shock, Lightning Strike, and Dragon. Alright, Shock, Lightning Strike, Chainwhirler, Dragon are all lethal. And we have to hit it or we're dead. I'm actually just dead this turn, right? Wait. Oh, no, they just played Ghalta. Duh. Well, a third of our deck killed them. We missed and died. Do. Womp womp. Let's see, it's much better than the first one. Hey, Mandy Jax, thanks for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna do this now, not only to get in the hit for the extra damage, but also so they can't kill it in response to deny us the hit. I said your name. Of course I said your name. You just helped pay my mortgage. So thanks for that. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good Friday wherever you're at. Interesting that they didn't take the Growth Chamber Guardian here. Do I take them? I think I'm supposed to hold this. So I think this signifies Ritualist Soot, and I'd rather this not get cleared away. Because if I wait till next turn to play it, I can play and activate it in the same turn, which is nice. This does expose it to a counter spell, which kind of sucks, but I think that's still ideal, especially having drawn another one here. Yeah, they'd be able to soot a Spellbreaker, but it would hit them for 3 first, so it's less appealing at that point, if that makes sense. My opinion behind any of the examples of the Shuffler Truthers is that they need to learn what anecdotal evidence and relevant sample sizes are. Shuffler Truthers are like just a couple steps below like Flat Earthers and anti-vaxxers in my book. Alright, if they don't have double removal here, they're dead to the Colossus. Would like to hit you with my large stick. Give him the tree! Give him the tree! Give him the old beatdown. Alright, control. So one of the things that's really impressed me about this deck is that in the control matchup, we can pull up into being a slightly bigger deck that actually generates card advantage, which is really sweet. I also think we want to leave like these Collision Colossus and these Shocks in case they're a... Maybe I don't want all the Cindervines. Maybe I just want Treasure Map. Grixis versus Esper is different. So against Esper, I board in all these cards. But against Grixis, I think I want to leave in some more of these. The Shuffler is flat and doesn't prevent diseases. Exactly. I've not talked about this today. Speaking of mobile games, I had a moment the other day that made me really realize I had made it as a streaming professional on Twitch, because I had a mobile game developer reach out to me and ask me what my hourly rate was to play their mobile game on stream for an hour. I was like, this is it. We've really made it. We've really made it. To be fair, I said it would be explicitly cool if they integrated them, so unless that's integrating with your Magic Arena count, it's not really what I was talking about. Well, that was excellent. So, I think as much as I'd like to play the treasure map and strive for my 4th land, I think getting guaranteed value here is important. Sags, thanks for the Twitch Prime support, I appreciate it. Oh, I gave them some ungodly number. And I figure if they want to pay me that, then we'll play a mobile game. Anything less than some really large pile of money, I'd rather just play Magic. Whatever they offer you, we'll beat it. Alright, what am I supposed to do here? I think I want to play Treasure Map out. Watch other players on Twitch. Would you say besides your Midwest draw, your commentary is the best? Keep it clean and the conversations have value. Thanks, Matty Jax. So now I have to decide here. I think I'm going to play the Kraul Harpooner out here. And the reason why I'm going to lead on this one is this is enough pressure that if they have Ritual of Soot, they're going to play it. And if they play Ritual of Soot, I'm okay with that because it gives me a window to stick the Rekindling Phoenix. Nicol Bolas is a little bit medium against Nicol Bolas. I'm gonna bin Shock here. I guess I get to attack with both of these, and if they block the Harpooner, I just Whirly Boy them post-combat. Whirly Boy up in your base, shooting rockets in your face. Puts lethal into play too. Long-time lurker, keep up the content and making time for yourself. You seem happier the past few weeks. Thanks for the 3 months, Sags. Welcome back. I agree. The last couple weeks in sub-only chat especially, and not using Twitter, have been excellent. They've been quite good for me. It's weird when you remove a bunch of the people that just want to scream negative things at you, you're happier. Weird. Man Willer, thanks for the biddies. I appreciate that. People still use Twitter. Unfortunately, having a Twitter presence is a requirement for my job. Thankfully I have a wife. So Christy's been managing my Twitter for the last couple of weeks. It's been a great change. She posts the favorite video every day, and then other random stuff that I ask on occasion. To be fair, last month the percents happened up to 1,200 too. I believe 1,200 is the cutoff, not 1,000. Third land's a great draw here. Basic forest, hopefully not Sultai. Not Sultai, God bless. So I don't really care if this makes tokens, right? Because I've got Whirly Boy. Do I want to hit them for 4? I think I want to hit them for 4 here, huh? Oh, double red. It's funny because it's sad. It's funny because it's true. It's like, I'm not sure. We're somewhere in the middle. YouTube comments are enabled on my channel so I can have interactions with people that can't afford to sub still. But I am very aggressive about removing people's ability to post comments on my YouTube channel. And basically anything that would have gotten you timed out on my Twitch chat when my Twitch chat was public, I basically remove your ability to post on my YouTube channel if you make a comment of that type. All right, so what do I want to do here? I don't think I'm quite at a point where I want to Whirly Boy them. They can't play what's it called next turn. They can't play Tristani next turn, so I think I just go 2-drop here. I think Direfleet Poisoner's the second one because it keeps Amara at home. If they elephant me, I'm going to be a little bit sad, but I also have enough pressure in play here that with the Colossus, I think I kill them if they elephant this turn. I don't think elephant's quite on my radar of things I'm scared of. Hey, Dranos, thank you. Time out. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, don't do that and then play an elephant. They don't have an elephant here. We're really far ahead. Hopefully if they're convoking, it's just a Conclave Tribunal. Thanks, Man Willer. Yeah, I couldn't help but laugh when some people were upset that, like, YouTube channels were having their comments disabled because they weren't moderating their comments. It's like, well, maybe you should moderate your comments, and then you won't have an issue. What would you say is the best deck I can build with the Grixis mana base? Definitely Grixis Dragons. Like, I like Grixis Dragons a lot. Bye, friends. Whirly boy up in your base, shooting rockets in your face. Oh, no. Oh, that was a punt. That was a punt. Oh, they didn't block. All right, no harm, no foul. Should have Kraul Harpoonered and killed this pre-combat. I forgot that this token flew. Where's your value now, opponent? Where's your value now? Yep, yeah, if you find, I actually updated the Grixis Dragons list on my website somewhat recently, so be sure to check that out. I'm pretty content with the build that we have up there. Worth noting here that my opponent is ranked 87 playing green-white tokens on the ladder, which is pretty impressive. No small feat. Oh, look, I put 2 copies of Fiery Cannonade in my sideboard. Seems pretty good. I'm gonna trim these. I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick. Thanks for hanging out, folks. The Immortal Sun is good in this matchup. I don't think I agree with that. I think I'd rather not have to get up to 6. That hand seems fine. Need some lands, but like hard to pass up Chainwhirler and a couple other mana. Perfect. Interesting. I wonder if against Chainwhirler decks they pull up. It's also possible that they play Tocatli on our guard, so maybe I want some Lava Coils post-board. I haven't gotten to watch you in weeks due to work being hellish. I have caught your YouTube videos before bed, which is always a nice way to end my day. Well, thanks for... Welcome to a live one. Hope your work calms down a little bit. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. I think I definitely want a 4-4 as opposed to a 3-3 Trampler. Volatank, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. If I drew a 5th land there, I might wait to play this, but because I don't have a 5th land in sight guaranteed, I think I'm just going to go ahead and jam it out here. Ah, well, thanks for the Prime again. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a great Friday. We are gonna do at least one more deck after this, but I might do 2 more.
And be recognized by history.
I was really hoping to draw a 5th land there, so that way I could play this and then Colossus over this chump block and kill her, but... Oh, you know what? That was a mistake. I should have just attacked and then Colossus and trampled over, and that would have killed it too. Need bump Sultai aggro? Yeah, definitely, Blur. Thanks for the support. I think we're probably dead here. Yeah, I think the fact that I didn't kill the Huatli means I'm dead here. not missing the line to kill Huatli last turn in combination with not having lands. It's a pretty bad look for us. So now I have to do this. Like, maybe I can beat their board on the back of my hand being good. Maybe. Work and life's been crazy lately, so I haven't been here for the live one, but since in sub-only mode, I honestly think your content's much better. Also, put these swords whichever deck you enjoy the most. Thanks for the bits and the feedback, Drew Squirrel. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me around. It's a history lesson. Actually, I just pass here, and next turn this happens, and then I shock this to finish it off, right? And then this blocks here. Oh! Where were you? Where were you before the accident happened? Yeah, I'll take 4. Come on, attack. I'll take 4. No blocks. No blocks. All right. Ring-a-ding-ding. Ring-a-ding-ding. All right, well, I punted earlier, but it looks like we're pulling back in here. The fieriest of all the... Yeah, doesn't even make a token because of the vigilance, correct? Turns out we were only mostly dead, not all the way completely dead. I think I'm gonna be extra conservative here and not attack with this. I think I want 2 good blockers back at all time. If they like rip another removal spell and then punch me with the Amara, I end up in a lot of trouble. I think I want 2 4/4s back at all points. Hey, would you look at that? Is that one good? How do we feel about that one, chat? Do 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 do. All right, they drew a march here, so hopefully they don't have another pump spell. They don't. If they have a pump spell, we're dead. Wait, did they miscount? They miscounted. They have a pump spell and it doesn't matter. If they don't have an Anthem effect here, an effect that makes all their creatures bigger, the Chainwhirler is going to come down and lock this game up next turn. Oh, Tink, best possible card. Yikes. Second Chainwhirler. Second Chainwhirler. Second Chainwhirler. So if I play a Rekindling Phoenix, I'm dead. I'm just dead no matter how I slice this, right? I block 4. And take 4. Any removal spell would have been fine there. It's a really unfortunate end to an otherwise pretty good game. Even an untapped land would have allowed us to live there, because if we hit an untapped land, I would have gotten to Chainwhirler plus activate the Hellkite to kill 2 of the tokens. Unfortunate that we drew Rekindling Phoenix. This attack's really bad if I have a removal spell, but if I have a removal spell, they just can't win, so they should make me have it here. Just a space smash with everything. What's going on, Mize? Having a swell Friday here. Yep. I am, in fact, no life. Sad. Such a close game after a small mistake I made earlier. Really unfortunate. We get to play game 3 on the play, so we're not out of the match yet. Just a kind of frustrating end to a game that was otherwise pretty close. But we're gonna be able to overcome the miss attack earlier in the game. We stumbled a little bit too, which didn't help. Yeah, gosh, because if we'd have had a removal spell there, like a Shock or a Lightning Strike, we'd have killed one of their tokens, gone to 1, and then, like, their whole board would be gone almost, and we'd have had Hellkite active. And a Chainwhirler. Seems like not amazing, but fine. I'm gonna bottom that. I think, while this card's like fine in the matchup because it's like a big blocker and then has trample on the offense, I think it's worse than our average draw. We have a lot of cards end up being better than that. If they don't have a Baffling End here, the Growth Chamber Guardian can run away with the game. If they do have a Baffling End, we're gonna need to draw some more gas. Which maybe the fact that they could have a Baffling End here is a reason to keep the Spellbreaker. Because, like, if I had a 3-drop to play this turn, that would be ideal. Double Phoenix is not terrible. Hopefully they play something we can shock this turn, like an Amara, and then we can untap it and just, like, play back-to-back Phoenixes. Thank you for obliging the opponent. I appreciate you. Phoenixes close really quickly. First one hits them to 16, then the next turn they hit them to 8, etc, etc. Sure. It's gonna be like, make 4 tokens, play a Conclave. Not quite. Alright, so need to dodge Conclave Tribunal here. Tristani also isn't fantastic for us. If we can dodge those, we end up in a pretty good spot. Phoenixes are putting them to 6, so we currently have 5 points of reach in hand, and we're at a moderately healthy 20 here. Their deck does have some pretty impressive burst damage on the back of Unbreakable formation, though. Johnny, okay.
Kinship ensures our victory. Back on your feet.
That is a great draw because it means that I don't have to attack them to deal lethal next turn. It means that this puts them to 5, this puts them to 3, this puts them to dead. You'll note that I played the Chainwhirler post-combat because I didn't want them to have a flying token with which to block my Rekindling Phoenixes. They don't have any life gain in play, which is fantastical for us. Believe it or not, our 4X Goblin Chainwhirler main deck with Fiery Cannonade in the sideboard seems good against the tokens deck. I made some mistakes and I stumbled in the second game and we still had a really close game. This is the point where paper you show them your hand and show them they're dead? Maybe. What possible outs are there for them at this point? I'm not sure. Yeah, Revitalize. Magoogles checking in for the 4th month in a row. Thank you, and welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. For having a great Friday and a good start to your weekend. Moving on up. Turns out when you beat number 87, you gain a lot of rank. Who knew? Alright, we got a sizable up pair. This is a sizable down pair. Opponent's at the 93rd percentile. Who's ready to stumble and die this game and lose all the rank we just gained? I know I am. Or are they on mono blue? This hand would be really, really reasonable against mono blue. The mono blue matchup's pretty good for this deck. Not only does this deck have a fast clock, but it also has a ton of removal, including 4 main deck Harpooners. They could still be like a Nexus deck or Esper, though. Yeah. I don't think our Nexus matchup is terrible. I wouldn't say I'm excited about it, but it's definitely not unwinnable like a lot of other decks in the format. This deck is very aggressive. I'd like to attack for 3. Hey, JW, thanks for the 27 months. Welcome back. What completely crushes Nexus like crushes their soul? Mono blue tempo tends to have a pretty good Nexus matchup. Decks that have pressure plus counter spells or pressure plus discard spells tend to be reasonable against the Nexus of Fate deck. They're not quite dead next turn, but they're pretty close. Remember, both of these are basically plus 4 damage, which is sweet. I like them root snaring proactively here. Seems like a good play on their part. It fills up their graveyard for their Search for Azcanta too. So, this is the part of the game where we just kind of like sit here and spin our tires, hoping that eventually they run out and don't combo us. It's not particularly satisfying or interesting, but it's what we've got to do. Wonder if we'll see them crack this Memorial to Genius here at end of turn. Yeah, if I shock them, we technically can kill them on our untap, assuming no root snare, assuming no blink of an eye. But that's quite a few assumptions, honestly. Do I still have a physical collection? I have a small number of magic cards here in my hand. There's a pretty good chance we don't get to take another turn here. They get to flip their Search for Azcanta next turn. So. Yay, magic. Yeah, we have 4 Cindervines and we have 4 Cindervines, a fast clock, and a Spyglass that are very reasonable in this matchup. I agree that Brenthon is excellent in this matchup, though. I think the fact that they played Chemister's Insight here likely indicates they already have a Nexus of Fate that they're going to cast. I think if they didn't have it already, they'd be using Azcanta. We're not quite dead yet, because they can't double activate Azcanta, but we're mostly dead at this point. And this is the part that really differs between this deck and other combo decks is I'm likely dead, but if I want to give myself the best competitive possible chance, I just kind of have to sit here and, like, find out. It's the uncertainty that makes the deck very unsatisfying to play against and uninteresting. And the fact that the Arena client doesn't give me an F6 or an F8 like I have on Magic Online, and I have to sit here and continue tediously clicking to find out if we're done or yet not. Alright, so they have a Fog or a Counterspell. Or a Bounce Spell. They're still not dead. I'm gonna go ahead and hit them to 7 here and then replay the Chainwhirler. And then, you know, hopefully we're not dead next turn, but we're probably dead. I think the entirety of the 8 games I played on the best of 1 ladder last night took less time than waiting to find out if we're going to lose this one game here. Such an incredibly satisfying experience. I'm gonna concede at this point if they cast Nexus of Fate, because at this point they are statistically unlikely to brick. They're not 0%. They're not 100% to win, but they're close enough that it's a waste of my time. But I end up playing a best of 1. Simic aggro, Simic mid range, whatever you want to call it. Simic stuff. I think I want to keep these because they kill Hydrate Creases, and they also give me like an extra 4 damage as a punch, which seems fine. It's called Concede, right, Nemesis? Creatures that apply pressure. Cindervines on 2. Yeah, this might be a Cindervines on 3, actually. Is it Cindervines on 2 versus Cindervines on 3? This probably gets more damage in the long run by playing it sooner. Yeah, I agree, Gork. I think this deck has a lot going for it. Yeah, the Esper bust deck was really sweet today. I like that one a lot. Bouncing our 2-drop here is really good for us, because it means next turn I get to play Cindervines plus Growth Chamber Guardian, which is excellent. Just generating a double spell turn early is quite fantastic for us. I wonder if I'm supposed to play Cindervines first, because occasionally this deck does play Spell Pierce. Or like Quench or Syncopate, and I care about Cindervines more than Growth Chamber Guardian. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to lead on Cindervines there. This is kind of bad against Blink of an Eye. The fact that this Lightning Strike's a surprise 3 points of damage is really nice, though. This is basically worth 2 points of damage as well when it eventually kills this Wilderness Reclamation, so that's nice. If they take 7 here, they're probably done, so they need a Fog or a Blink. Even if they have a Fog or a Blink, like, they're still taking more damage from this, which is great for us. And the fact that this just happened, and I have the Cindervines up as well, means they're probably done for. I'm gonna click submit. They did nothing in the end, we won. Yep. Just, like I said, it's just an incredibly satisfying is the word I would talk about. It's just like, it's not satisfying regardless of what happened. They're like, oh, they did their thing and we didn't do anything, so we died, or we did our thing and they did nothing, so they died. Like, ooh, magic. Looking for a 2-drop. Excited to lose 300 ranks after we lose this match. You name Warrior with Unclaimed Territory in this deck. It's basically like a third or fourth green-red dual land, third untapped green-red dual. Yeah, normally gameplay like that is more reserved for Modern, though, Top Joe. Like, honestly, that is definitely what I would equate it to. Like, playing against Nexus feels like playing the matches of Magic that I've always felt are just not fun to play in Modern in Standard. It feels like they took, like, the previous Standard format is currently my #1 format I've ever played ever in any format of Magic, and this format, the additions to this format feel like they took that one and just, like, has all the good gameplay still, but, like, polluted it with these other games that just aren't good, in my subjective opinion. You know, I actually think this was a mistake, and I should have played this post-combat. It probably should have done Spellbreaker there. I don't know. Maybe we're lucky and they have nothing and are going to die. Please, please die. Please, please, please concede, opponent. I would appreciate it if you would concede. Rats. Silly chat. I bet some of you thought we were gonna have a turn. It's the optimism it slowly beats out of you. Honestly, dearie, try best of one. It's been a hot second since I've played Magic off stream. I played best of one off stream the other day, last night, and I had fun just because there were no Nexus of Fates. I didn't activate it because it's not my turn. My opponent's taking all of the turns. Ugin's Nexus wouldn't even be that good. It costs 5 mana. It's an incredibly narrow card. This is the part where they grab Wilderness Reclamation, play that, and then we never get another turn. Do they already have Wilderness Reclamation? This is the part where they pass the turn to us, but they have Root Snare in their hand, so they're not really passing the turn to us because we're not going to get the only part of our turn that actually matters. So we go from 800 back down to 1182. We lost almost 400 spots there. We're also having the life drained out of us. Yeah, if I do any laddering off stream, it's definitely going to be best of one. Oh, it's so brutal. Yeah, the fact that, like I was super excited and that the play design team exists, but, like, the fact that, like, their work resulted in this Nexus of Fate deck still existing, maybe the last format being really good was just a fluke. Maybe they didn't actually help, I don't know. It's hard to know, really, like, what the impact was and why things are good or bad. I agree with Sunhouse for reference. I think Wilderness Reclamation is actually the problem and not Nexus of Fate for people that are trying to write it off as Nexus of Fate was this special kind of hell. I think the Teamer Reclamation decks elicit the same kind of miserable games that the Nexus decks do. They just have the decency to kill you a little bit sooner. What's going on, Wookie? Afternoon. Someone asked about the Guildgate in chat. You have pretty strict mana requirements in this deck. It's the same reason we play Unclaimed Territory. We want to have enough red sources to consistently cast Goblin Chainwhirler, but we also need enough green sources to, like, activate Growth Chamber Guardians and cast the green spells on our sideboard. I think I'm just going to play this out as a 2-1 with First Strike. I think I'm probably on the board for that. You know, I boarded out a couple of my lightning strikes and left in all my shocks. This is a reason to leave all my lightning strikes in, so we'll do that next time. I did board in my lava coils, though, so I have 6 ways to kill this. This doesn't have a huge impact on our deck, though, just Chainwhirler for the most part. Although that is an important card against their tokens deck, so we do want all of our strikes to be able to take this out post-board. They are quite good together, a figurative adventurer. Getting a Conclave Tribunal burned on our Spellbreaker here feels pretty good. Hopefully that means the coast is going to be clear for this Phoenix to stick. They are playing Mardu, so there's potential for them to have access to Lava Coil as well. So they do have a lot of ways to deal with this Phoenix. That's some good, clean deck building right there. Appreciate that, opponent. He incorrectly tapped my mana there, so I don't have Shock Up. I'm gonna go ahead and hold the Unclaimed Territory just in case they play any discard spell. This is as good as activating this is. This is currently lethal in 2 in the air, so let's just go ahead and attack. Thunk thunk. If they have a removal spell, they're still dead to the shock, assuming they can't get any points of life. Sure. That's kind of funny. This lets Priest activate this turn. So they're still dead. So they get 2 mana when they use this Priest. I'm going to take 8 total down to 12. I'm going to sacrifice the Dire Fleet Daredevil as opposed to the Rekindling Phoenix, just in case they have some cheap removal I'm not thinking of that they get to use with the 2 black mana from Priest. I don't have any dice triggers in play that are relevant with Priest, which is good for us. Oh, found the attack with all key. Oh, these have lifelink. That's fine. I have a shot. The attack with all hockey was the wrong button. They didn't gain 2 off the Priest. They gained 2 from their tokens having lifelink, because Teysa gave them lifelink. Alright, I think... Seeing more of their deck, I'm going to cut the collisions and bring in the lightning strikes and the coils. Priest is a card that I do need to kill on site most of the time. We were pretty fortunate that it showed up late enough there that it didn't matter. Double Chainwhirler. Couple temples of tilt to start things off here, but hopefully we draw a 3rd land on time. I guess this technically made them more tokens. Oh, early boy cleans things up. The nice thing about playing the first Chainwhirler out here aggressively is that they're less likely to play around the second, much less the third, so more of these we draw, the better off we likely are. I would like to Lava Coil this one. I would like to Lightning Strike this one. I would like to attack you for 5. Need to make sure to kill them in that order, so this Orzhov Enforcer doesn't double trigger its death trigger. We're still at a pretty healthy 18 here. They're down to 10. Sure. second Chainwhirler will just be lights out. Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Survey says. I was gonna say, watch us get like Settler wreckaged. $963. See if we can find one of them top 100 players again. Climb up a big chunk. I think the Abzan hero deck would be good in best of one. No, I don't think so. I think we had enough tools left over there that even if we got settled, it would be fine. Man, this is the best part about best of one, is not having to mulligan so many one-landers into Oblivion. Like, just getting to actually, like, that very introduction element is nice. Collision Colossus is pretty bad here, unfortunately. I'm gonna go ahead and shock this now, just in case my opponent's kept a greedy hand on the back of a light up the stage that puts them pretty far behind. I could have played around Settle with Spellbreaker. That's super true, Beetle. Like, Settle's just, like, so far out of the format, it's, like, not even a thought on my mind. Sweet. If it lists someone as 0%, that probably means they're having a connection issue. Alright, so we would like to draw Goblin Chainwhirler here, or another 3-mana creature. Gruul Spellbreaker, not Goblin Chainwhirler, but still plenty reasonable. So I'm going to play as a 4/4. I ideally just want to draw untapped lands for the next 2 turns so I can curve Phoenix into Skarrgan Hellkite. If they have a way to kill this Spellbreaker, it's going to take them 2 spells. If they attack, I'm snapping off a block here. Super happy to trade Spellbreaker for a Pyromancer plus a burn spell here, especially with Rekindling Phoenix in the tank. This exchange is good for us, keeps our health total nice and high. Land is excellent. Just want to draw lands and castable creatures from here on out. One more land at least. Pretty solid here for us for a mull to 5. It helps that my opponent's light at the stage didn't do much work. Oh, you know what? This is a mistake. I should have, because I have this Colossus in my hand, I should have played this with haste and then I'd have killed them next turn, right? They'd have died next turn. How did Bampon feel today? It was great. We went 4-1 with the one match we lost, being one that I conceded because I didn't feel like playing it. Gonna be a Skewer the Hellkite. Deal. Oh, this takes their risk factor. That's so good. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of matches in Modern that I just don't want to play because they kind of suck. Went out and got my laptop to sub and answer someone's question. Abzan Hero actually isn't that bad in best of one. You have a decent matchup against Mono Red with Lyra and the Wild Growth Walker package. Well, Abzan Hero, at least the build that we've been playing, doesn't play a Wild Growth Walker package, Philosophical Psycho. I appreciate the 4-month resub, by the way. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, sweet. They're dead to this Colossus. So that's sweet. We dumpstered them after our mull to 5. Give them the tree! I think this matchup is okay for our deck in general. I think post-board, we just swap these 4 Harpooners for 4 Lava Coils. I don't think Fiery Cannonade is good enough in this matchup. I'm just going to click submit. It might be that Collision Colossus is bad, but I kind of like the +4 damage, and occasionally the +2 toughness saves our creature from a removal spell, which is nice. How do you suppose the Phoenix carries the tree? Beaks, claws, probably, I don't know, maybe like strap it to your back and ram into it. Sand seems fine. This hand actually curves out really nicely, right? Like, kill your thing, play my thing, play my thing. And again, I'm just going to shock this right away, because if my opponent has Wizard's Lightning, I want to try and strand it in their hand, ideally. The reason to play Magic is so great, Jeff Hoagland. Well, thank you for the 2/3 of a year make a pick. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I would rather play Lightning. I think I definitely want to kill this rather than play a threat. The question is, do I want to Lightning Strike it or Lava Coil it? I think I want to Lightning Strike it just in case they board in Phoenixes in this matchup. If they play Rekindling Phoenix of their own, I'm going to want to have this Lava Coil. I think it's pretty marginal either way. I'm going to play this out as a 4/4, so that way it demands Lava Coil as an answer. So that way, if they Lava Coil this, they're less likely to have a Lava Coil for a Rekindling Phoenix. And if they're killing this with something other than Lava Coil, they're spending 2 cards to do it, which is also a win for us. Would really like to draw a land so I can Dire Fleet Daredevil, Lava Coil their G2 Lava Runner here. Kind of surprised they didn't shock us and get in for 2 last turn. They're down to 1 card. I've got Phoenix plus Lava Coil. So sans a Experimental Frenzy, we're in a good spot here. The Colossus is looking a little bit awkward for us here. It's possible these Colossuses would just be better as Kraul Harpooner, just as like a 3/2 for 3. Or 3/2 for 2, sorry. It's also possible that because I had the Lava Coil in my hand, I should have played this the last turn and then saved the what's it called for a risk factor. When you're determining if a Phoenix can carry a tree, first you have to find out if it's an African Phoenix or a European Phoenix. What if instead we didn't do that? And the reason why I'm saving this with the Colossus now is so that way, if my opponent's second card is another deal 3 spell, I wouldn't be able to save this from dying to a deal 3 spell. I would have been able to save it from dying to a Chainwhirler, though. But I think it plays to our outs there to, That's a Monty Python reference, right? Pretty confident that's a Monty Python reference. I'm gonna hold on to the extra land for now, make them think maybe we have more action than we do. Ooh, they drew risk factor for the turn. That's fine. If they deal 4 to us every turn, we're killing them before we kill them. Before they kill us. So they're dead next turn, thanks to Colossus. So if they risk factor, we go to 2, and then Colossus kills them. Alright, well, these ended up being kind of useful. They ended up just being like Borrow's Charms, right? They were just like 2 mana deal 4s, which is what we wanted to be. I guess the other one saved the Phoenix, which was super relevant too. One saved the Phoenix and the other one dealt 4. Borrow's Charm can be indestructible. That's true. It was actually just both modes were Borrow's Charm. Crazy K, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Sure. This hand's not amazing, but it's definitely fine. I think against Godless Shrine on 1, I'm going to lead on Kraul Harpooner here. I think our 2-drop is likely to die, so I'd rather lead on the one that I'd prefer to die. Although this does leave Growth Chamber Guardian exposed to a Thought Erasure. What's the only thing worse than someone playing Esper Control? People who manually tap while playing Esper Control. Get yourself some help, opponent. Don't hate yourselves and others. Alright, so we're looking to dodge Cry of the Canarium this turn. And if they do Cry, we have a Rekindling Phoenix that can maybe go the distance, but... I think I just pass here. I don't think I want to play into an Absorb. This does give them the opportunity to kill one of my things, but I think that's fine. It's going to be kind of a tough match for us game 1, because we have a lot of these removal spells that aren't particularly good, but post-board this matchup gets pretty reasonable for us in my experience. I'm going to play the Rekindling Phoenix out here. I think there's a good chance this gets absorbed. Literally the 3 land the auto tapper would use if you would just cast absorb using the auto tapper. I feel like the game should calculate every time you use your lands manually, and in the event that you like manually tap the lands that the auto tapper is going to use like 6 times in a row, it should turn the auto tapper back on for you. So just be like, Sparky, Clippy should pop up in the corner and just be like, hey, it looks like you're ignoring the auto tapper that would have done the same thing. Would you like to turn the auto tapper on? That's why I explicitly said if you manually tap the same lands the auto tapper would have used. Ooh. I found a piece of candy, chat. Hey, what's going on, D20 Bandit? Alright, let's surveil a Phoenix to the top of our deck and take away their best card. That one. Ugh. They only have 4 land. Yeah, I know you're newer here, Dude Light, but... Listen, you brought this on us, okay?
I am not going to sit this one out. You slow down. It's only a matter of time.
I'm gonna hold on to this because they play Thought Erasure.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
Green Light Years, thanks for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, that's one of the ways we could get back in this game. So they knew this was coming, and they were hoping we didn't have the land. So I get to grab their Chemist's Insight here. And then cast this and draw 2. We're continuing to flood here, unfortunately. The search for Azcantha's flipping. Our window's closing very quickly here. I think Kaya's great. Last time we played Esper Control, we had 2 Kaya in the main deck. I think she's quite excellent in the format. She's good against Phoenix. She's good against the Drake's deck. She's good against all 3 of the aggro decks that exist. So I know that, like, the title here is Gruul Aggro, but this is really more of a mid-range style deck, especially when you compare it to, like, the red, blue, and white aggressive decks in the format. If I didn't care about my rank, I would concede the match right now, just because waiting for them to manually tap is really frustrating and annoying. But, alas, we currently care about our rank, so we're gonna have to suffer through it. You can leave a couple of shocks in as the last 2 cards. They clean out Teferi after he down ticks. Yeah, they have a Kaya in play, Chalky. So they just, like, plus the Kaya and leave me with an egg that doesn't matter. The Thief sideboard plan's kinda whatever. I left 2 shocks and 4 Kraul Harpooners in my deck, and like I have Rekindling Phoenix and Skarrgan Hellkite, so I don't think if you're on Esper you're supposed to board in. Oh, you know what? I should leave in Lightning Strike because of Hostage Taker. Lightning Strike is better than Shock because of Hostage Taker. I do care about Hostage Taker. I don't really care about Thief of Sanity because of my blockers and my Harpooners, but definitely should leave in Strike over Shock because of Hostage Taker. Is a mistake on my part. It's even possible that with 4 Lightning Strikes, we should leave some Lightning Strikes in over Kraul Harpooner, just because of how annoying Hostage Taker is. I don't think it really matters. 3 frags. If we mortify their search for Azcantha, they bury us with card advantage with their Planeswalker and their Chemist's Insight. All the roads lead in the direction of us losing the game. Alright, I'll take a treasure map on 2. Sign me up. Needed to draw a couple more spells in the middle. That's true. Lightning Strike kills our Phoenix in response to a Contempt. Is a relevant line. Lands, please. Deal. Maybe I'm supposed to just hope to draw the land naturally there so I can stick Chainwhirler. Now I'm going to try and scry into it so I can play Chainwhirler this turn. I don't want to play a Phoenix into an Absorb. Oh, I'm gonna sit down before I fall over. Oh. People like the opponent are a constant reminder of how much average folks are terrified of change. Change is scary. I don't think they've cast a single spell in 2 games so far where the auto tapper would have used mana different than the mana they have in play. Because I'm a small, petty man, whenever I run into someone with the auto tapper off, I turn on full control and let every phase go to the rope. That's awesome. That is a fantastic response. I heavily encourage others to do the same. They want to waste your time, waste theirs right back. If you have copious amounts of time, you should punish them worse than they're punishing you. Love it. they're against the London Mulligan. So you'll note there that I could have taken the opportunity to play Cindervines off my treasures, but one of the things you need to do with treasure map when you're playing it is you need to figure out whether or not you are playing it in a way to generate card advantage or generate tempo. And I think in this matchup, we definitely prefer to use the treasure map to generate card advantage more than anything. Well, since I have mono Phoenixes, I'm going to play another Phoenix out here. Isn't that a little like making Teferi players deck you? No, Teferi players that are decking you are people that are playing a deck that's good that just has kind of a tedious win condition. Like, Esper Control's a genuinely good deck. Like, people who are, like, terrified of the auto-tapper are people just resistant to change. They discarded Kaya's Wrath. Seems good for us. Now you got to get double cried. Hopefully this is cry plus spot removal to kill one of the Phoenixes. I'm gonna put this into play now. I think this is fine. Let's just get... They just played 2 cries. They discarded Akaya's Wrath. I think playing 2 threats here is good. Maybe you could argue Cindervine should be my second threat. That happens to be what my OP manually stat I misplay because I'm annoyed. Yep. The auto tapper didn't deny me a card. It got me ahead on tempo. That's fine. We used all our mana. It was a-okay. Growth Chamber Guardian's uniquely good in this matchup. Don't bag on old Growthy.
We need to move quickly.
I need to utilize my shuffling deck because it's therapeutic. Makes me calms the old nerves. All right, here's a really important piece of advice. I know they're at 14 and it looks like we could maybe kill them in 2 attacks. Always kill Teferi. Do you know what not killing Teferi results in? Sadness. Always kill the Teferi. Every single time. Never not dead Teferi. Never not dead Teferi. Always. I don't care how close you think you are to winning the race. Attack the Teferi for lethal. If your attack isn't killing them that turn, kill the Teferi. What deck am I shuffling? Just a random pile of Magic the Gathering cards from my childhood. Alright, so I'm gonna cut these. I'm gonna put in these Lightning Strikes. I think I like Lightning Strike better than Kraul Harpooner here. Just because of the possibility of Hostage Taker, especially on the draw. Show you the top card. My casual red-green madness deck has hits such as Narcissism and Fiery Temper. Where's a real good one? Where's Diligent Farmhand? Diligent Farmhand, he's real swole. Odyssey block staples, Diligent Farmhand, and Muscle Burst. Look at him. He's real strong. Some good clean Magic the Gathering right there. Sure. Yep, Basket Root Wallace, Wild Mongrel, Arrogant Worm. All the greatest hits. I think I'm just curving 2, 3, 4 here. We have like 2, 3, 4, 6, so hopefully we hit a 5 somewhere in the middle. Esper and Mistland drops. Name a more iconic duo. I feel like they have Absorb here, so I'm not going to play a Phoenix out into an Absorb. I think I'd just rather play my worst threat. They cast Cry here, I get to untap and play Phoenix. My mana's tied up for the next few turns, so I'm going to go ahead and just cast this now. Chainwhirler's a great draw, because it means if they hit their 5th land, play Teferi, and tuck my Phoenix, I get to Chainwhirler to kill Teferi. It also means if they play a land and plus Teferi, I can Phoenix, hit Teferi, plus Chainwhirler to finish him. Alright, so they need a 2-mana counterspell here to keep this around, or they're just tucking, that's fine.
Show remorse. I'll show respect.
Cindervines could maybe kill the Search for Azcanta before it gets going. The Chainwhirler being a 3/3 is also relevant. Corey B, raiding with the party. Hope you had a great stream. Happy Friday, have a good weekend. Hanging out playing some Standard this evening for those coming over from Corey's stream. We're almost done with Gruul Aggro. I think this will be our last match with this, and we're going to play some Jund Aristocrats to wrap things up with. Second Teferi's kind of scary, especially considering they're able to hold up an Absorb here. Lightning Strike is an excellent draw. So I get to go ahead and play the Cindervines, hopefully to bait the Absorb, and then we'll finish Teferi with the Lightning Strike. Mediocre Magician, thanks for the Prime support. Hope you're having a great one wherever you're at. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month. They're currently playing against an Esper control player who hates themselves and others, so they're using the manual tapping. So let's put 7 cards in the bin so they get to flip Search for Azcanta here. Hopefully we're going to get to start slamming Rekindling Phoenixes, and they won't quite be able to keep up with everything. The fact that we had our 1 copy of Immortal Center opener has been real awkward this game. They know this Phoenix is coming back. It kind of sucks that they have enough mana to play 3-mana removal spell or counter spell plus activate Azcanta in the same turn, though. Vraska's Contempt, knowing we have a Phoenix, so they either have an Absorb or they have another Vraska's Contempt. It's their 3rd Absorb. Looks like it. Second Absorb, sorry. Just want to jam our Phoenix right away here. There's a good chance that our opponent's at a high enough health total that's just not going to matter. I think this match, these 3 games, took longer than, like, all dozen of the... Oh, now they have the 3rd absorb? The dozen best of 1 games I played last night, just because they're manually tapping. I'm gonna play 1 more with Gruul before we call it a day. They even manually tapped it correctly. Is what it is. Alright, so basic mountain on 1, I think means I want to lead on Kraul Harpooner, because it's likely just a 3-2, and I'd much rather this die to Lightning Striker Shock than Growth Chamber Guardian die to Lightning Striker Shock. Persip, thanks for the 11 month. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out so I have a first striker. No, I'm not affiliated with any of the rental services for Moto, Psycho. They offer this trade, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Go 2-drop for their 2-drop. Yeah, I agree, Greystar. The fact that they have Zertok Goblin in their deck likely indicates that their average card quality is going to be a little bit lower than ours. It by no means means that we're guaranteed to win, but I think it does mean we have a leg up in the matchup overall. The fact that they have Land War Elves in their deck likely indicates that they're not playing Goblin Chainwhirlers. We don't really need to play around that, which is nice. We really like to draw a land tier or removal spells. That way we can kill this or get our own going. It's pretty unfortunate for us. Hopefully this Rekindling Phoenix is going to be able to hold the fort down. No, I'm still here, Turkey Sloth. I play the same 60 with my Gruul, but my sideboard has 2 Domri and a Vivian. I've been happy with those. Against Sultan Esper, 6 mana. It's hard to get a lot of time in this deck. Any thoughts on trying them out? I don't know. Immortal Sun's slow. Honestly, I'd kind of like a second. The last game, I think I would rather play a second Spyglass before I'd play another Planeswalker. Sorcerous Spyglass is real good. It also has text against the Wilderness Reclamation matchups by turning off their Search for Azcanta. Well, remember when we talked about average card quality? Yikes. I'm holding back the Phoenix because if I attack with it and they rip a Lava Coil, I just get dumpstered on the ground. I also don't think, someone mentioned Domri in the sideboard. I don't think this deck has anywhere near enough, I don't think this deck has anywhere near enough creatures for Domri to be good in this deck. Vivian sounds fine, but I would probably try more Spyglass before anything. So now Galta gets an attack this turn. Yeah, Galta's kind of the mirror breaker. For sure. Phoenix is also pretty good though, so if they don't have anything here, I get to triple block Galta and then Colossus one of my things. So I'm not just dead. I have 8. This will be 10 defense. So I'll take 3 plus 2. I assume this has haste. I'm actually exactly dead, right? I'm taking 3, 3, and 2. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. No, they're pretty frustratingly close end. Needed one more hit point. If we had one more hit point there, we would have traded off with the Galta, got our Phoenix back, and then had a 4/4, and then we would have been ahead on board. So pretty close to stabilizing. Okay. Hoping to draw a 2 or a 3 drop or some other cheap removal. Having lots of removal in this matchup seems important since they're on the Galta plan. If we can keep their board small, we can just make that be a dead card. I'm gonna bottom that. I think we're quite ready for that. Yeah, I agree. Galta in general is a pretty bad magic card in this format, but it's very good than Gruul Mirror. So if you're expecting a lot of Gruul Mirrors, it seems like a fine card to include. I'm just gonna go ahead and Lava Coil this Zerta Goblin. It's not that big of a threat, but I'm using my mana next turn and the turn after, so I want to just cast a spell this turn. Yeah, I think the version without Chainwhirler is pretty bad in general, though. I feel like having Land War Elves is a way worse upside than having access to Goblin Chainwhirler. Chainwhirler is just incredibly powerful in this format. Not only for the tokens matchups, but for a lot of others, too. I feel like if you want to put a bunch of mana creatures in your deck, you should be going a little bit bigger and probably getting up to Hydroid Crisis. That way you have something to do with a lot of your mana when you flood a little bit. Sky Highest with the Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Ooh, they're dead next turn. I've played a real game of Magic for mulliganing before. We also went to 6, so like they went to 4 and we're on the draw, and we had 6 on the play, so they really only had 1 less card than us. All right, for all the bananas here. Evening, nerd girl. I guess it's afternoon by you still. This hand sounds great. I got a shock to kill their first threat. Ideally, we want to draw a removal spell or a 2-drop. I'm definitely going to shock this in here, so that way if they play something I can shock, I can do that and then still untap and draw 2. Deal. Do I F&M? I do not. If I'm gonna play Magic kind of casually, it'll definitely be on Arena. It's just infinitely more convenient. Also by playing Arena, I get to do my job, which is nice. If I want to do casual games, usually with other people, usually we focus on board games. I believe they kept 7. Maybe they mulliganed to 6. I honestly wasn't paying attention. There's not a game log to go back and look. What board games do I enjoy? Yeah, right? The 300-point swings are. This is a picture of some of my favorites in it from the last year. I mean, that's true. You'll never lose a game because you mulligan to 4 if you always keep 7. Them's just the facts. Oh, no. I played one more. I got paired into someone who's 88%, which means when we lose, we're going to go back down to, like, 90%. Oh, please let us run really hot. Matches like this are so savage because they're super low upside for us, super high downside. Just like if we lose a ton, and if we win very little. And Magic's such a high variance game that matches like this that are so swingy in this nature just feel really bad. Like in games that are more skill-based, a larger differential in ranking is more reasonable because like you lose a lot, you deserve it more kind of, or like you could have done more to prevent it. Magus, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Wizard's Lightning. So I am going to proactively Lightning Strike their Wizard here, so that way they hopefully can't play one of these 2 cards next turn. They need land plus a 1-drop to cast both of these. Oh, Magic is such a heartless mistress sometimes. And then we miss our land drop for the turn. At least we drew a playable 3-drop, so we've got that going for us. One mana Divination's pretty good in the red deck. XGC Malevolence, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. Land, please. Land, please. If we hit a land, maybe we can kill them before this is relevant. It's going to depend on the quality of it. They draw like 5 cards with this next turn. We're probably just dead. Red has a lot of sources of card advantage. Maybe they'll just have like 6 lands in a row on top of their deck. Nope. No, though their deck is stock mono red Turkey Sloth. Yeah, in my experience, GW, this green-red aggro deck tends to come out ahead against mono-red. I like the long pauses in between play the literal only card they can play off the top of their deck. That's true. They could be manually tapping. Things could be worse. Alright, I think the out here is hope they get incredibly unlucky. And I'm going to stick this Dire Fleet and draw 2 cards here and hope to draw some lands. We hit a land. If they hit 2 lands in a row on top of their deck, maybe we have a shot. Ahmad can untimeout Kosh, but I it made me feel better to frag them. Oh, XGC, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. What's going on, Jones? I'm actually going to be running late on Fridays moving forward now. So I'm going to be live on Fridays till at least 5 o'clock Central Standard Time most weeks. I'm also starting late Friday mornings. So I'm not going live till about 10 a.m. on Fridays. I'm going to be live till 5 or maybe a little later. Does chat have a window into the future? No, I deserve that. Chat's not supposed to actually find lethal for my opponent. It's just bad beats. Find lethal for me, chat. Find lethal for me. Alright, our hand's pretty good here, and they're not doing a whole lot of anything. What do they keep? Did they board up? This is a weird card. You considered being luckier. It is a line I've often considered. I think I'm gonna be aggressive here since they have a slow start. This could get out of hand if they have a Lava Coil for my Phoenix, or like, yeah, if they have double removal spell, I'm a little bit sad here too. But I guess if they have double removal spell, I get to untap and like Dire Fleet, take their strike their Legion War boss. So I think this is fine still. Like I'm taking 4 down to 16, but then they're going to 12, and I have a Dire Fleet. If chat's a competitive advantage, then why was Kosh able to call shot your opponent? These Lava Coils not being able to go to the dome feels a little bit medium. We're hoping to dodge Whirly Boy out of the opponent. Them having to spend a spell killing my 2-1 feels good. I think I'm actually in a spot here where I'm going to go ahead and just burn this Lava Coil since I have a backup one. I just want to spend my mana and preserve my health total here. Alright, let's see if we can get incredibly lucky for a 3rd game here so we don't lose infinite rank by losing to the 88%. Be ideal. Everybody channel your lucky energy for me. Regardless of the result here, we're going to move along to Jund Aristocrats after this one. I made it to a year doing the best man thing this weekend, so shout out to my best friend and roomie getting married and drunk this weekend. What's going on, Valerio Straz? You have a sword to go along with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Thanks for shipping your Twitch Prime again this way. Oh. Okay, alright, step one. Step 1 unlocked. Get to actually play a game of Magic. Light 'em up. They're on fire. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Do, 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 do. Hopefully they don't have Phoenix. It might be right to save the Lava Coil because the War Boss could imply that they're boarding up. Opponent incorrectly played a mountain out of their hand as opposed to the mountain from the light up the stage. Sounds good, Magus. Will do. of lands, but we have plenty of removal for their threat, so it's like a small win for us. Perfect. Steamkin. Steamkin's a must-kill on strike. I mean, like, so I know Lava Coil has upside if they have a Phoenix, but we don't know that they have Phoenix. And, like, Lightning Strike kills War Boss at instant speed, and it goes to the Dome in a pinch, which is important. Down to 12. I think the fact that that Shock fired off aggressively signifies they have the enchantment, maybe. Or maybe not. I'm definitely going to make this a 4-4 here. Making them have Lava Coil to kill this is more valuable than getting in 3 points this turn. Defense much better, especially with the Phoenix in hand. Putting a hey, you want a Lava Coil this into play is nice. I really hope they have a burn spell here that they can't play now. Does Gruul Spellbreaker gives us Hexproof too? If we hit lands the next 2 turns, we could be in a pretty good spot here. Wow. Yep, definitely medic. That. Well, Sans a copy of their enchantment. We are in an incredible spot. Exile that one. Attack for 4. Yeah, I agree. I think they should have gone to my dome there. Driving in my dragon, beep beep. Oh, no one wrecks into me. Yeah, they'd have to deal like 7 with 1 card here. So like, even if they rip like a Lava Coil here, they're still just like dead on board. Alright, so all things considered, if you haven't seen this deck before, this is one of my favorite aggro, mid-range aggressive decks in the format. I think it's got a lot of play to it. It's got a ton of interaction in it, which is one thing that I enjoy, but it also has like a reasonable amount of grind with cards like this and these treasure maps post-board. I think the one change I would make after playing these matches again is I would cut this Immortal Sun for a second Sorcerous Spyglass. I like this card in general in the format because it's really good against Esper for turning off their Tefreeze, which is just easily their most important card, but it also gets to come in against the Nexus of Fate decks to turn off their Search for Azcanta, which is ideal, or more specifically, Azcanta the Sunken Rune from finding cards, so I think that's the swap I would make. If you haven't seen us play this deck before and you're interested in seeing more of it play out, you can find this deck and a ton of matches with it on my website, jeffhoogland.com. Click Standard Decks at the top. We're going to go ahead and roll on into some Jund Aristocrats here to wrap things up for the evening.